Okay, hi, my name is Edmund, and this is Kaleidoscope, an educational podcast hosted by me and my friends Josh and Cynthia. Our podcast is sort of a one stop shop for everything career related with the help of industry insiders. We present you with a broad spectrum of professions with as many perspectives through personal testimonies as the colors of a kaleidoscope. And here today we're with George. Hi, George, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Cindy, and all of you that I'm here at this podcast. I'm very happy.
Thank you, thank you. It's really a pleasure to have you on, and yeah, like the hotel manager or front office manager, right?
Front
Of
office
the both of you.
manager.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. It's a fun world, I think, and it's very interesting to have a glimpse of that. I mean, similarly to Cynthia, I worked in a hotel this summer as well for my internship, and just seeing everything that's going on. You don't always. I mean, you never see that when you just visit in a hotel. It's just sort of crazy to see everything that's happening in the background. So I think this is going to be a very interesting podcast. So yeah, I think we can get on with the first sort of 10 questions, just more fun questions,
Ooh,
just to get the ball rolling, and then we can get on to the rest. You
okay.
ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So beach or sightseeing?
Okay. Really, beach or sightings depends on the destination. So if I have to go somewhere to relax, I would definitely spend the most of my time on the beach. But really, it's a combination of beach and sightings. It's something that we do also in Mykonos. You can come in Mykonos, you can enjoy beach, you can take a boat, go to the sacred island of Delos, and really, it's a combination of these two.
Okay. Nice. Books or movies?
Depends on the mood. Most of it, to be honest, right now I'm most focused on books. I sometimes, to be honest, I find myself feeling a little bit guilty staring on the TV, and there are great movies though, but I would say right now mostly books.
That's great.
Nice. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
I could say, oh, okay, I would be like something like exotic fruity, like raspberry, a sorbet of raspberry.
I like that. Nice,
Yeah.
simple, fruity.
Of
Your
course.
favorite country to visit?
So I'm a travel junkie. So I'm a traveler. The most of my time I'm trying to travel. But if I've been once, to be honest, but if I could travel like more often to Cuba, I would say Cuba. The way
Oh,
that people are free there, they are very super happy. Even that sometimes you see that don't have even the basics to survive. Really, this is a big issue for Cuba, but they are not staring on the phones. They are super happy. They are dancing all day long. I think I would
I,
say Cuba.
I like that a lot. I'd want to go to Cuba. It's definitely on my
Mostly
list.
I'm going,
And
mostly I'm going all the time to Paris, to being honest. But if I could have the opportunity to go back to Cuba, I would go to Cuba.
yeah, Paris is absolutely beautiful as well. I'm French, so I'm always
Ah,
happy when people answer something related to France. But yeah, I mean Cuba is a little bit more exotic perhaps than Paris, and I would definitely rather travel to Cuba than Paris right now. But yeah, lovely. So do you have a favorite song?
I have many favorite songs. So actually, I'm more a big fan of house music. So
Okay.
there is no. I love Carl Cox, really some sets of music, but if I would have chosen a song, it would be like I love Depeche Mode, so I would say Enjoy the Silence. Cynthia, don't look me like that.
Oh, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
She knows she knows she knows another favorite song. So
Yeah, there's a wide range of music that I think George and I had enjoyed over the summer. So yeah, for sure.
That's nice. The
exactly.
room division manager that I worked with had absolutely horrible music taste, and he would blast that all day. So I'm happy you two got along with that at least.
No, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I hope your room division manager
S-
is not taking part in the podcast.
no, I don't think so. I don't think so, and hopefully he won't watch it either. Yeah. So if you're stranded on an island, what are three things you would take with you?
Whoa. Uh, I have a question on this. Like, would it be for survival reasons or stranded on an island for vacations, for example, for a month?
Well, not
I
on
have to
not on
survive.
Mykonos. Yeah, not in Mykonos.
Yeah. Like I think there's definitely like an aspect of you having to survive on it, but yeah, let's say you have to survive. Yeah.
I would definitely take something sharp, like a knife, something that if I have to survive, protect myself and try to find food. Uh, oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine myself trying to hunt. But anyway, then I would try to pick up something so I can create like fire, warm myself. I don't know what it would be like. How does it call the thing that you have to? It's like a piece of glass, and you work
Oh,
with
magnifying glass.
not a lighter. Works yeah, exactly. Magnifying glass, yes. And because I need to rest and start the survival life like strong and rested, like maybe something like not like a bed, but like what the campers are usually taking,
Like a sleeping bag.
like a sleeping bag, exactly. I know that
Yeah.
it does not last forever, but at least for the first months, I could have something to feel protected and have some rest.
Yeah, I feel like that would work. I think a sleeping bag is definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Because I bet it gets cold
Flexible.
on stranded islands.
I
I don't
wish I
really
have a
know.
four. I wish I have a fourth thing to choose, like my dental kit, but I think it's only three things I have to choose.
What do you think that impressing wild
Yeah.
animals with your smile would
Yes.
work?
It,
No,
it
it's the
probably would.
feeling, Cynthia. It's the feeling.
I get it.
So if
I spent a lot of money for my braces, so I really would choose a dental kit for my for my fourth thing.
uh, yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. If you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Easy. It would be something like a sandwich or the Greek souvlaki, since you have been to Greece, some of you. Combines excellent vegetables, meat, the pita bread or the bread in the sandwich. Uh, and I could be clever. I think it's not doesn't have to be the same sandwich, right? I can change the ingredients.
I think that's
So it would be
probably the
like
smartest answer
sandwiches.
we've had to this
Yeah, for
question.
sure.
Just because anything can be in a sandwich, right? Yeah. Perfect. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, favorite movie. Ah, it's like it's quite romantic, but I would say it's a long movie. I would say Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts. It's a little bit romantic movie, but the way that she quits life and wants to travel to find it goes to Rome to see how it is to taste an authentic pasta, leaves for a spiritual trip to India, and then finds love in Bali, and all the combination that really leaves from the comfort zone. It makes me inspired, and sometimes I find myself like I will do it once,
I
travel
have
for
I
three,
have
four months.
I have two movies that if you like Eat Pray Love, I wonder if you've watched. Have you watched The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
I love that.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna
The
write you
Secret
it.
Life.
I'm gonna tell you afterwards, and I
Okay,
think you'd love that movie as well. And another one that I love is The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
I don't know that one.
no, I've never seen that too.
Okay, George, I've got two very good movies for you to watch that you love, and I'll send the name to you afterwards, and then you must tell me how you like them.
Please, please, I'll definitely write you back.
Thank you. I'm done.
I think it's a cruelly underrated movie. It's got like bad grades on IMDb, which really like ticks me off because I think it's an excellent movie. But yeah.
I'm very
So
open
what's
to.
yeah, sorry. It's a little bit of
Yes, yes, please.
little
No,
bit
no,
of a
please.
delay. Sorry. Yeah, so what's a book you think everyone should read?
Uh, Definitely like Siddhartha from Hermann Hesse. I don't know. I think that most of the people have already read that book. It's like again, like the Eat, Pray, Love. It's the main character Siddhartha quits his comfort zone, lives from the standards that of his life, and quits family, and realizing the contradictions between reality and what have been taught. So he abandons his comfortable life to wander around, following the shamans, and then learning how to withstand pain and hunger in life. And then he's being a student of love. He finds Kamala, and finally he's quite old and lives next to the river, and finally the river as a spiritual guide in that gradually grows wiser and wiser. It's a really great book,
That does sound like it.
so I
Yeah, it
will
seems very
definitely.
You
spiritual.
sound like a bit of a romantic, George, if I can say that.
Sometimes.
Um,
Actually, I want to, sometimes I feel like I really have to, we live like in a very, you see the, sorry for the parentheses, what's happening now to Ukraine and everything makes me feel like I want really to realize who am I and travel around, leave my comfort zone, and I like getting spiritual situations, and I think that people have to travel apart from Europe, like Asia or
For sure.
like I mentioned, Cuba.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree a
I
hundred
agree with
percent.
that.
I agree a hundred
Yeah.
percent. I think it's a nice way to end the first 10 questions, and something that I definitely believe in as well. Travel is will probably bring you the biggest lessons in life. But moving on, George, I like to sort of stalk all our guests before we have them on the podcast. And I noticed you didn't have a LinkedIn, so I couldn't stalk you. So I think it's the best thing to do would be maybe for you to introduce yourself, tell us a bit about yourself, tell us your background, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay, I started my hotel career as a guest experience coordinator in the biggest school of a Marriott autograph collection hotel. Before, I was a part of a two Michelin star restaurant. I can say the best and the only one we have in Balkans. As a manager, as an assistant manager in that emblematic restaurant destination, and being part of a guest experience coordinator in a Marriott property, uh, I can say that briefly gave me the opportunity to understand in depth guests' needs. This is what I'm really good on. So I started in the F&B department, food and beverage, as a server, and then I grabbed the opportunity to move in the front desk team and grow up today to a front office manager, which is totally different from being just a guest experience coordinator.
And did you notice in your young age that you had tendencies towards the service industry, towards the hospitality industry, or did you? Is that something you only realized later?
I realized it later. First of all, starting from my educational path, I've studied in medical school, medical laboratories. I left to Italy, to Milan, to complete my internship there. And when I came back, I left directly to Mykonos. There is the Bill Coo back to 2017 that I started serving in a great restaurant. That Bill Coo, it's an asset, this restaurant, for the Bill Coo Hotels. It's called Gastronomic Project. So I realizing that my communicational skills are really very good. I feel I'm trying to do all the way things that make people happy. I did also my personal life. So I saw myself that I can really follow that path, that career in hotel industry. And this was the time that I realized that I really belonged to that industry.
Interesting. And was there something? What did you not like about studying medicine?
It wasn't something particular. I did my internship in the University of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, is it called? I'm not the person that can follow an academic career. I couldn't see myself working for the rest of my life in a laboratory. I really need people. I'm a very active person. And I realized in Mykonos and exactly at Bill & Co, back on time, that I really have to follow that career. It's really suits me great.
So would that move to Mykonos?
And I mean, as we've said.
So would that move to Mykonos? Thank you. So would that move to Mykonos
Sorry?
be that decisive moment in your life when you have decided that you have found your path?
It wasn't only Mykonos that really helps me to realize I'm really dedicated to good food. So I'm a foodie, and then I left for the Michelin star restaurant in Athens. So I start being in contact with people during the day, during my working hours. And Bill & Co gives me the opportunity. So I came back to Mykonos, growing up from another part of the industry, from the rooms divisions, from the front office team. So Bill & Co gives me the opportunity to prove myself that I can really do it from the aspect of the front desk. Really, you have to do a lot of things as a front desk manager or associate. It's not only about food.
I think so. The perfect segue from that is how would you describe your job currently to a 10-year-old?
Oh, to a 10-year-old. It's actually fun. You have to have some skills before, like communicative skills. You have to be patient. You really have to do these details that will keep guests returning time and time again back. But it's fun, it's nice. To 10 years old, I couldn't describe it. There is no actually specific duties of a front office manager. You have to be, it's very tough, but it gives you the opportunity to work with the teams that are very diverse teams, meeting new people, travel around the world. So
And
Yeah.
do
And
you
I don't know
manage
what
do
to
you
say.
manage people as a front office manager? Do you manage other employees?
Yes, of course. Right now in Bill and Coo, we are like 7 people. We call us like a guest experience agents, including the drivers, which are like 7 more people. So we are like 15. It's very, this year especially, it would be very demanding for me.
yeah. And so when you started, I mean, you didn't have managerial experience. How did that transition go for you? Are you happy managing other people? Was it a hard thing to do at first?
It is a hard thing to do, and not only at first. I feel like I'm still very fresh front office manager. It was the last year I was promoted as a front office manager from supervisor. You have to deal with they. If you have to talk about the team, they are something they have to concern about their needs. There are a lot of hours that these people are working on the island, especially the seasonal job of front desk agent, front office agent. So you have to deal with things that concerns to if they are happy with their accommodation, things that has to do with their food. Uh, you have to be right next to them because some of them they cannot deal with the very demanding people, especially if you're working in a property like Bill and Coo. So it's not easy, no.
Think, I mean, I don't even have to tell you to think, but it's 2019. Everything is going smoothly. You're looking forward to the summer business, and then, boom, COVID hits. As somebody that's been in the hospitality industry, what is that change like for you?
What has been, you mean what has been
Yeah,
changed due to
exactly.
the COVID situation? For 2020 and 2021, and actually I think that this will remain like for more than for the next few years, would be we cannot come very close and touch our guests. For our people, for our repeaters, this is very important. I mean, you can see people coming back to Bill and Coof. They feel like home. They want to hug us. They really, some of them crying or get in touch during the winter with our personal phone numbers. So there is this is a kind of restrictions, and you have to follow for every guest. Every guests are important and really matters. So you cannot actually come very close. You have to keep distances. You have to wearing your masks. They cannot see your
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah.
Actually, the hospitality industry really relies on the way you approach people and the way you're looking and the way you're speaking. And if your smile
Yeah,
is very
that
important.
that makes sense. And was Bill and Co. Did it open every summer with COVID, or did it close for a while? Okay.
No, every summer. It was for a few months in 2020, like we operates for 4 months. We operated for 4 months, but every year.
Okay, and you still had a lot of guests as usual, or was it slower? Yeah.
Of course, it was slower back to 2020, but for 2021, uh, it was the greatest period
Yeah, I
for
mean, people.
Mykonos in
Yeah,
general.
Yeah, people are just excited to go abroad again, I guess.
And is it the
Yeah.
same? Is it the same this year? Are you expecting a huge boom in 2022? Because I mean, for me personally, this is the first summer where I think I'll be able to really travel. Um, and I've been hearing things about a big traveling 2022 boom. How's it looking at the hotel? Are you expecting this boom there as well?
Yes, we expect we have also already some months like more than 80% of occupancy of the property, July, August. We accept a lot of uh, thousands of people visit Mykonos this year. Not to all of the islands. I have like a good relations with people working in Crete, for example, and apart from the COVID, the situation with the Ukraine has an impact to the reservations, but not for Mykonos, to be honest.
Interesting. Yeah, there's so many factors coming into play with things like that. It's kind of crazy. And earlier you mentioned that that like it's just a lot of different tasks for you at your job. Could you maybe sort of describe what a typical day in your life would look like?
Yes, okay. If we had to describe the occupational profile and the typical duties performed by a front office manager, as I mentioned, that would be like there is no typical duties in the work environment. Depends actually in the work environment. There are some active and some more behind the desk front office manager. Depends on the type of the property, if it's a resort or a city hotel. But of course, there is a job description in general, though. At this position, we sometimes considered in some properties, some hotels I don't want to mention right now, but a front office manager could be like the assistant hotel manager. It is necessary always to check your arrivals and actually welcome every guest in the property. They really need to see someone from the senior management team waiting for them, especially we're talking about the boutique sized hotel that we are. Greet every guest every day and make sure, of course, that before their departure, ensure that all of the charges are accurate and they have been posted. This is a very important, actually. You have to protect the financial profile of the company, the hotel. What else? You have to be sure all the time about your team's performance, especially if you are a part of several demanding affiliations. For example, as a Bill Coo, we are part of the leading hotels of the world, um, proud members of Virtuoso team and Fine Hotels and Resorts by American Express. So there are really some standards you have to follow in order to be part of these affiliations.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice. And is there sort of a typical pathway to get into your position, or is it because I mean your pathway was going through like service and just more F&B related. How do most people in your position get there?
really, first you have to have some organizing skills, the ability to find effective and innovative practices to approach guests and the team in the same time, because it's not only the guest that matters, of course. You have people that you're working every day with them, and the combination of make them happy both, it's very important. Keep them happy.
And I suppose the question for me is more of a, because you mentioned you were a spiritual guy, and I like that aspect, so I want to touch on it. Um, you know, as a front officer manager, as somebody who's seeing the customers all the time, as somebody whose relationship with the customers is very, very important, on days that you personally are maybe not having the same energy, how do you adjust and sort of what is your mindset to stay professional almost?
Um, what exactly that question would mean? Like
Yeah, okay. Let me. So
revise.
on days that on days that you personally don't have maybe the same energy
Mm.
that you do as on other days, how do you? What is your mindset like to stay professional?
Actually, it is your job, I think. Try to find some time for yourself, first of all, like uh, have a pause, like relax, and then you have to go back, talk with your team, and it's actually you always have to be professional. You cannot be like this is something that you cannot negotiate. You always have to be there, professional, and ready for your guests.
Do you feel like do you feel like negotiation plays a lot into your role as a front office manager? Do you feel like you have to negotiate with guests ever, or and sort of negotiate with different departments in the hotel? How important is negotiation in your job?
Yes, actually, the front desk is the center of the whole informations are coming from the whole of for the all of the departments. So you have to manage the housekeeping. You have to pass all the informations to all of the departments, to the senior management team, handling all the complaints that may come up. For example, they are not satisfied with the room features advertised, or they have some maintenance issues. It's the place that really gain all the information every day. You have to pass all the accurate information back to the departments. That's why it's a very very difficult to be part of the. You have to be patient. You have to grow skills like uh, communication, as I mentioned, and yes, this is only.
And so you mentioned that you have to deal with customer complaints. What's your how do you deal with them? What's your approach to them?
First of all, you have to understand in depth their needs. So really, you have to see what is and what is the problem. You want to identify if there is really a problem or and why the guest is not satisfied. Is it the room? Is it the room? Is it the service of the property? Something happens during the stay. They didn't have the attention that they wanted to have. So you have really to understand what is the problem. Usually, I'm very good on doing this because I feel as a guest. I feel first of all like I am the person that I'm having holidays, but I would have. Why they have these kind of complaints or problems? And usually, to be honest, most of the time they are right. I mean, I'm with the part of the guests. I really understand what is the problem, and I feel like I have to make the trip like exactly like nothing else. Like I have to satisfy and uh, bring Mykonos and Bill Coo to the greatest destination of their life. So I think that is what I'm good on. The practices of the hotel usually is to offer something like complimentary. Usually they want something in return. They feel like for example, they have paid for something that they want also to have something like for example, they may complain about because they didn't have the opportunity to find the position in the main pool of the property, like sunbeds, and then you can offer a relaxed massage or a spa treatment, so they can make them feel relaxed. That you really understand that they are frustrating, and that's why you offer them in return something to relax. Of course, there is not a property that they can accommodate in the same time all of their guests around the pool. Let's say this is something that really happens before. They couldn't find sunbeds. I really understand that this makes them frustrated, feeling frustrated, and you do offer something in return. That's the thing you can do as a gift.
And so in that case, you would offer the spa treatment.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think it would? I might be completely wrong, but it would create a cycle of people, you know, trying to bring up these issues to get something out of it. And do you think, you know, this sort of attitude and response of giving something for them being unhappy might create more negativity on the long term?
Certainly, there is a range of people that usually uh, they know that actually there is not a problem in some cases. They're just creating issues so they can take something back in return. Sometimes they're really rude. They're asking for I want you to give me complimentary bottle of champagne. Otherwise, I will be very sad. I will post my review, and this is the job of the front desk. This is a very serious part of the front desk manager. You have to really understand what is the problem, what you can give back in return, so you can solve it fast and in an efficient way.
As a front desk manager, are you responsible for customer reviews? Are you going to be the person that, let's say, if they say something negative on TripAdvisor, are you the person responsible for answering to that, or like, you know, sort of looking at all of that?
Yes, of course. Depends. Right now, this is a hotel manager that he responds online the guest reviews. I used to do it before as a guest experience coordinator back to the Marriott Hotel in Athens. We are responsible to understand if something wrong may happen, or if a guest is not happy. That's why during their stay we have to be in contact. We have to be very close to the people, to the guests. So before they leave, you make sure that you don't gonna see any bad reviews, and you have. This is a game. It's a game of understanding like needs, and try to avoid this kind of people. Of course, sometimes a word of mouth, it's very important, but it's most important to encourage them, post the good reviews online if they're really feeling that they have a special time during their stay. And to have a special time during the stay, this is my job, to ensure that really all the people are happy. We give as much attention we can, of course, because we are there every day. Uh, and this is the most important, the people.
And in terms of your career, in terms of career development, what's the next stage up for you?
Um, if it has to be like from the hospitality, if I have to, not if I have, I'm a part of the hospitality industry. The next step, it will be probably the hotel manager, the next step. But to being honest with you, I'm more interested since I have an experience from the F&B department now, like in the front line of the hotel, to be something in the future like quality and control assurance. I would see myself working for a big part of the hotels. Like I could name some of like it's one and only properties, Four Seasons, Setai hotels that I really admire, and I'm in love. I've stayed before also to some of them, so I could see myself identify needs and problems and make sure that team's performance are getting better.
And in terms of, I think people always have these ideas of front office managers. What do you think are some of the misconceptions about being a front office manager?
Uh, could you, if it's not a problem for you, could just
Mm,
repeat again the
oh,
question because I
yeah,
could.
no problem. What do you think are some of the misconceptions of being a front office manager?
Uh, what would you say about misconception?
So, um, the ideas that people have of being a front officer manager that aren't true.
Hmm. People thinks that when you're just being a manager, you don't have to be in the front line. You don't have to. You have to. People thinks that when I think this is an idea of people that really uh, you can be a manager and work less. Actually, when you're getting a manager and when you get more responsibilities, you have to be more dedicated to your daily issues. For example, before I was I was a front office agent. I thought that I was really working very hard, being in the front line. Have to manage some complaints, have to do all the procedures of check in, check out, concierge advices. But and I was thinking like being a front office manager, I could have some time to rest for myself because you have this kind of back office work to do. But it's not true at all. You have to be always there for your team. You have to manage complaints before to get to your hotel manager, and this is something that really it is very demanding. It's very demanding when you get to manage to the managerial positions. You have to do more things and not less that you probably maybe think of.
Yeah, and so in the field in which you work, would you say, and I think I already know the answer to this, but would you say there's a good work to life balance?
Uh, if you have to work to a city hotel, you can balance. Of course, you can balance life and work. You find time for yourself. When you're working in a place, in a seasonal place that works like for 6 or 7 months, uh, the job is double, sometimes triple, and people you are always full house. And when you are full house, you have to be really on top of the situation, like before problems may come up. When you're working in a city hotel, you can balance better your life. For example, you have time. There are months of the year that really you can balance these things. But in the season, you just open on April, for example, for us, and directly on May you are full until October. So I have things I wanted really to do during the season, and I'm not really doing them.
Yeah, that's sort of the mentality. The hotel in which I worked out, which was on the island of Rhodes, people that was the mentality of like, hey, I'm coming here for 6 months, and for 6 months, all I'm gonna do is just work. I don't have time for myself. And then for a lot of them, they wouldn't have jobs during the winter because obviously no, like in Greece at least, there's no industry that hires as much as hospitality in the summer, like I mean in the winter. So it was just like I need to work now and put as much money on the side to sort of chill during winter.
It's a very intensive environment. To be honest, there are unpredictable hours that usually, for example, I always trying to say to myself, you have to rest, you have to leave during 2 or 3 hours and come back to the property. Uh, to your job, but there is things that really may come up during the day and unaccept unaccept sorry arrivals that you didn't accept and walk-in situations, uh, of course short of complaints, things that you have to manage with your team, actually, because it's really the working hours are a lot, so the team is really looking on you, and so if they are working hard, you have to work harder. uh, from them, and it's, to be honest, it's true, and is quite a fair. You are getting more paid, so you have to be work more hours. I used to think like that before, so I want to prove myself and to the people that as a front office manager, I will be there for them, for the team, for everyone.
And George, do you have a favorite memory from your job?
Of course, I have a favorite memory. Last year, it was a guest, a footballer. He didn't mention before that he wanted to to organize his honeymoon trip. He just arrived in the property. He had 4 days of his stay, so I have to be fast, find something like unique, something that will really accompany us during their life, a memory. Um, I start thinking, so I organized the driver, a bottle of champagne, flowers, an ideal place with a great sunset in front of the beautiful lighthouse of Armenistis in Mykonos. And then, of course, in the most secret way, because the wife didn't have to know about the proposal. I find some photographers. I have to organize how the guest and the photographers understand that is the right person. So I have to find photos of them, try to make a photo of my guests, and I they have some hats like a tourist hats, so they can be the photographers, and then organize the private dinner back to the hotel. The girl starts crying, and was something very emotional. I felt part of their happiness, and this was something that I will never forget.
Uh,
That it actually does sound very beautiful. I would have said yes personally.
Yes, actually, I was
Did
very
she say
happy.
yes though? Right? She did, right?
He said yes. And
Okay,
the guest
perfect.
was happy to share some photos with me. He said, like, these photos really, we want to share something with you. We still are in touch. Like, George, we are planning to come back in Mykonos. We want to stay in your hotel. When guests are staying in your hotel, you feel like you are a part of the property, and you feel like you're taking pride of our job in your job, and really this is these emotions that a laboratory cannot provide me makes me happy.
I love that.
I
I
really
love
like
that.
that. That is a lovely memory, and just for memories like that, I think it makes the job worth it. That's a beautiful story.
As
I
we
like it.
near the end of our podcast, um, we like to always end off with the question: what is one piece of advice you could give to your 20 sorry, let me repeat that. What is one piece of advice you would give to your 20-year-old self?
Mm. Being honest, being patient. I'm not a very patient person, to be honest. I'm very nervous, waiting, trying to accomplish things very fast. So I think that I proved myself, but I think I could wait a little bit more to handle managerial positions, to be like to feel more like I can do mistakes. Of course, you can do mistakes as a manager too, right? We are people. Right? It's a daily operation, and it's an active job. But I could say to myself, like, relax and enjoy yourself, enjoy being an agent, enjoy, like, you have when your job is finishing. Before, I wasn't the manager, so when the job was finished, I was relaxed, trying to see my friends, have some fun. Now I'm actually checking my emails, talking to the phone all the time, being this is the groups of the managers that you have to be always on top, like, even in your holiday times you have to be there. So I would say to myself, George, wait.
I, lo- I love that. I love that. George, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you. It's been a pleasure to hear the stories. Um, I think we can all collectively agree when we say we wish you the absolute best for the future. And yeah, I think if we end up at Bill and Coo, I think we've done something right in our life.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you for very much for the invitation.
It's our pleasure, really. It was really great. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks,
Me
George.
too.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day too.
See you, George.
Thank
Bye.
you.